The prophet Joseph Smith has given us a great indication of the war of words and the tumult of opinions that was in play at the time he was searching for divine truth. He talks in his history about how there was much contention and strife and division over religion at that time. He said, "For a scene of great confusion and bad feeling ensued, priest contending against priest, and convert against convert, so that all their good feelings one for another, if they ever had any, were entirely lost in a strife of words and a contest about opinions." So at this time, there was great division. There was great conflict over the Word of God, over the Bible, the meaning of the Bible, biblical passages, and also which church was true. And this is not really unique, because ever since time has begun, there's always been conflict over God and over religion. And in our day and age, it's no different. In many ways, it's more pronounced because of social media. And so we have a war of words, a tumult of opinions, contest and conflict and contention and dissension over the Word of God, over what it means, if there is a God, and what his plan is, and if he exists, and all these sorts of things. And we're all familiar with this. It seems to me that Joseph has given us the solution to this problem. Instead of being caught up in the war of words and being pulled to and fro by contending parties, we are blessed to be able to seek the God of heaven ourselves. We are blessed to be able to read the revealed word, to ponder on it, to pray about it, and to seek on holy ground, to receive answers to our own prayers, so that we can receive a knowledge. We can receive a testimony of truth. We can be guided. We don't have to remain in the darkness of war, the confusion of contention, the division of strife about religion or about anything we seek to know. We can go to our Father in heaven. We can pray. We can ponder. We can search. And we can sincerely approach him in prayer in sacred places, in the privacy of our own minds, the privacy of our own hearts, or even at the privacy of a sacred private location with no onlookers. We can pray in faith out loud if need be. And that is an important thing to do. Joseph prayed out loud. He let his desires be known. And he wanted to speak to God. He wanted to know the truth for himself. And he was called out of that war of words. He stood on holy ground. He stood on sacred ground where the God of heaven spoke to him. There was no strife when God spoke. There was no confusion. There was no darkness. When Satan was banished, God was there, and he spoke with purity, with power, with plainness. And Joseph heard the words and knew the truth. He had confidence and clarity and conviction. And I'm firmly convinced that so much of his ability, his resolve, his determination to keep going, to persist, to do what is right, especially in the many difficult times of opposition that will yet come, so much of that came because Joseph stood on holy ground. He knelt in prayer. He didn't rely on others to do his thinking for him, or to tell him everything about God. He never would have been able to know what was true if he just relied on the opinions of men. He went to God in prayer, and he was called out of that conflict. We don't need to be caught up in a conflict of opinions about the nature of God. We can know who he is. We can have sure certainty. We can kneel on holy ground. We can stand resolute and firm with a knowledge and a conviction that he lives, that he loves us, that he will guide us, that he will teach us, that he will show us the things he wants us to know and do. I'm so deeply and richly blessed to know these things, and so are you. We are blessed to know that God lives, and that he speaks, and that he loves, and that he cares, and he communicates. And he doesn't want us to be caught up in confusion. He wants us to be clear and to know the path back to him, and to rejoice and glorify in him and be in his presence forever.